So Nearpod is a website which links with iPads. You can also have the app on your iPad. You can create lessons, or you can find lessons already pre-made, and you can teach them through the iPads, where they can see things in front of them and they can do various different things. I'm going to show you how to create your own today, and then how to also search for other people's lessons. So once you've signed in using the details I provide, click on the Create button at the top, and you want to create a lesson. You can see here there's lots of different things you can do. You can either add a slide by clicking on this button here or on here, and you can drag and drop any files, or you can upload them into this button here. For example, I could add a slide. I can add content, a web content or activity. Be careful with this one. You can create web content and it will embed the web page onto the Nearpod, but only if it's unblocked on kids' iPads. For example, there's websites which are unblocked for teachers but not for students. You couldn't use that on there. So if I want to add content, I click the add content, and there's different things that you can add. You can add in just your normal slideshow things like text, and you can also put video or picture or sound. A Nearpod 3D, which is, click on that one, you can see the different parts of, for example, science, and you can rotate the picture. You've also got in there simulations. Click that one. You can actually do like the teacher tools which you can use. A BBC video, again, they don't tend to work very well because a lot of them are UK based only, but they just say worldwide there. Field trip, which is like a VR. So click on there, you can type in a destination you want to visit, and they can do a 360 with their iPad and zoom in. Quite good for looking at comparing, contrasting different locations. Sway, which is links with Microsoft Sway, a slideshow, video, audio, PDF. So there's different things you can add in, and a live Twitter stream. Again, we don't allow this one because Twitter is not unlocked for students. So if we wanted to add one of those things, we could also add in activity. Now, an activity, we have open-ended questions, so we can put in a question where they can type a paragraph or some text for an answer. We could do a matching pairs. We could have a picture with some text, and they have to match the two. Good for the EAL strategy link, the 2A, where they link together. Quiz. You can create a quiz, mini quiz for them to answer, and then draw it. You can give them a paper. They can draw an experiment of some sort. Collaborate. This one works really well some of the time. So based on my experience, this is still under, it could be made better. So it works as like a sticky note, so a digital sticky note. You have your main screen, and different students can add to this main screen. The main problem we have is it loading. It takes a long time to load. You can put a poll on there for the students, fill in the blank close type test, and a memory test. Okay, different things you can do. If it's just a case of you want some different worksheets for different students to be working on at the same time, you can also click on, for example, let's have a look in planning, math, English. If I wanted to drag and drop this PowerPoint, and it will drop it on, press OK, and now it's loading into Nearpod. It's that easy. Once you've loaded it on Nearpod, there's a few things you can do. You can either leave it as it is, or you can convert a page to draw it. So I could click on one of the slides, for example, and say I want you to annotate that page rather than using it and as just a viewing tool. So you can do that. You can add the slides as well as having the PowerPoint on there. And then you put your name in the top here, and then you press save. There we go, there's our slides. So for example, these three here, I just want as they can see the different pages. So some people we work on adjectives, some on articles, and some on apostrophes. And then at the end, they all want to do is can you spot the mistakes. So this one here, I want to convert it to a draw it. So I can click on this one, click to convert to draw it. Do I want to keep the original slide? No, I don't. And now that's to draw it. I can now save this. I'll give it a name. Press save and exit, and then you have to give it a grade and a subject. So I just put in that. Now, it's important to note you have to have at least 2 slides on a Nearpod. If you want just one page to view, it won't allow you to do that. So I always put a title page if I've only got one thing that I want on there. Press save and exit. Once you can see it in your library, you can either do one of two things. You can do a live lesson or a student-paced lesson. A live lesson means that they will work with you. So when you want the next page to come up, then everybody's iPads will move to the next page. A student-paced lesson is they can flick through the pages on their own. So if you click on, for example, live lesson, it'll come up with a code. The students go onto their Nearpod app, type in this code, and they join with you. Now the other way, if we just go back, if you were to go to the student-paced lesson, they have the code which they can type in and use whenever they want. And you can also set a remaining time. So if you wanted it only to be used for this week, you can set it just for this week and press apply. They now have this week to fill in to use this code. After Thursday, they will not be able to use the code anymore. Other things you can do is you can edit or preview a Nearpod you've already created. And finally, if you go to the Explore Nearpod library, that's where you can search for other people's resources.